No, that'd be great. I have no problem with that at all. Okay, we are now live. And then during the course of the broadcast, I watch Jerry, and so when we're getting close to going to commercial break, he flashes me fingers of just how many minutes are left.
Gotcha.
So if you see me stick up, 3 fingers, that's 3 minutes left.
Okay, so I need to sit close to this bad boy?
Yeah, because it's a directional mic, and so
okay.
if you move your head, it'll kind of cut in and out, so ideally you want that.
So it should be like way up.
Yeah, and you got headphones there,
Yeah.
and they should be plugged into the
What am I going to hear in the headphones?
show. It's better than without the headphones. It makes it clear, better, so you can kind of more
Gotcha.
focus on the show. And then there's a volume along with the headphones on the next where you plug it in.
Gotcha.
So you can adjust the volume if you'd like.
So
We're not on for probably 6 minutes.
Right. Crazy. So, love it.
So were you in the building trade before?
Not at all. I mean, I
Were you in
kind of grew
publishing
up.
or media?
I grew up interested. Yeah, I've been publishing for 5 years since I graduated college, 6 years, and yeah, I'm from Omaha.
Have a little mic check, guys.
All right.
From Omaha, yeah. And
Omaha.
so I did magazines there, and then moved out here and sold those publications, and then started. So out here, and right when I came out here, I knew I wanted to jump into the building industry. Because there's a magazine like this in Dallas that kills it. So
I saw that on Twitter.
yeah.
All right, Jerry. Can you hear me now? Danny, go ahead.
Test. What do you mean? You want to do what?
A couple more words.
Hey, Danny Jacobson, testing.
All right. Yeah, when I was looking at Twitter to see if I could find you on there, I saw Building Saturday in Dallas.
Oh sure, yeah, I'm on Twitter. I do Instagram, Facebook. I'm learning social media, so I would love to hire somebody to do that. But trying to create a foundation for myself so that I wanted to do it all from scratch. But
Yeah, I've figured out a lot of this myself.
yeah, how's it
Full
going?
time.
I feel like you're
Getting there. I mean, like I said, I experimented with Periscope for a while and then just kind of figured that really, for what I'm looking for, that just doesn't the best fit.
yeah.
Did you go to Nebraska?
Went to the University of Nebraska at Omaha.
Okay.
Yeah. For the Division II school, smaller,
Oh, okay.
18,000 students. I mean, that's not that small, but
What's the
that's, the Huskers is Lincoln.
Oh, Lincoln, that's right.
Yep. And then Omaha, yeah, it's Division I AA now, but
Did you grow up in Nebraska?
yeah, I grew up in a small town, about an hour outside of Omaha, and then went to college in Omaha. So a lot of people ask me, they're like, well, what's it like moving here from Nebraska? But, I lived in the city, right? Omaha's similar, it's the same size as Sacramento. Omaha Metro is smaller, but,
Yeah.
so it's not that, not Target nearby and all that stuff, so,
Walmart.
yeah. So yeah, you'll have to. I would love to connect you with some people in the building industry that have some really cool business ideas, even some builders that are really creating a great niche themselves, that are fantastic communicators.
That would be great.
Yeah, and they would get a kick out of being on here. I think.
Yeah, no, that would be great. I like I said, I just like hearing everyone's stories.
Absolutely, yeah.
Always, I don't think who I've had from the building and trade on here before. It's been 4 years worth of shows. I don't remember all my guests, but
Yeah, I
but I
mean,
know I've had some. So.
yeah, there's a lot of production builders that are really based here, like Harry Elliott from Elliott Homes, the biggest production builder in the area, and he lives in Grand Bay. JMC Homes, they're based out of here. Cressley, Rachel Bardis.
You see, I think
She's
Rachel
great.
Bardis would be a great story.
We're actually getting ready to feature her in 2 weeks out here.
Oh, good.
Hopefully, but we're in conversation about it. But she'd be a great story, a female killing it in the industry.
Yeah, no, I think she'd be good. I think the woman Mina Yang that was head of Domus Development before.
Okay, yeah, I'm not familiar with her.
Yeah,
I
she's
know
more
development
Bay
about her.
Area.
Okay,
I think she got out of Domus, but anyway, she's done some good projects here.
Sure.
With I've got a couple clients that do some very infill projects on small infill stuff around town, and so it'd be good.
Yeah. I know a guy, a couple of dudes that do a company and they do marketing for builders and stuff like that, and they're really killing it in there. And that's it. You're creating a niche for yourself and you're running at it. Yeah. You know, confidently. I think that's obviously you really have to have a niche that's a need to. Yeah. A lot of people think, oh, there's a niche, and then realize that there really wasn't a need for it though.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Any tips? Any last minute tips? That'd be great. Already on live, so
just there you go. Now I think we have you covered up, hopefully. So no, I think just be yourself.
Yeah.
And we're live, so try not to. There's no delay, so no cuss words.
No cuss words.
And we're not going to talk negative about any competitors.
Good. I don't have it. Yeah. When we're live, you're saying. So like when we jump out, we can.
Yeah, we're still live. So.
When can I talk crap about people? Is what I want to know.
901. It's funny because commercial breaks,
people think, oh yeah, I can be my.
So they'll drop, we'll cuss and just but here they probably get fined by FTC or something, or FCC, I think. So yeah. So.
That's awesome. So how long have you been doing this? 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah. And then before that, you started in this space right here.
Yep.
And you stuck with it.
And again, I mean, right now, I book all my own people, as you know. So,
yeah.
So it'd be nice to have support in that area, but it's just not.
Absolutely, yeah.
Where that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I'd love to help. I think that this is definitely something I could have energy for. So, what's our timeline?
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Beyond the Numbers on Money 105.5 FM, part of the Wall Street Business Network. This is Mark Bellows, February 28th, 2018. I am a tax principal with Clifton Larson Allen here in the Sacramento area. I work with manufacturers and distributors, real estate developers and investors, some subcontractors, and a few other types of businesses. Work with businesses, their owners, do tax planning, tax strategy, etc. And we're busy right now doing tax returns and then trying to do some planning for 2018. There's a lot of unknowns out there still with the new tax law, the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, TCJA, and there's still a lot of unknowns in there. So we're, as I learn more, I can have better advice on my clients, but I have a feeling that a lot more is going to come out from the IRS this summer. Until then, it's just a lot of unknowns, but we're doing the best we can. And today I have a guest on the show, Danny Jacobson. Good morning, Danny.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good. Danny is the publisher, owner and publisher of Building Savvy magazine.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Love it.
Good. My hair is really long because I grow it out for St. Baldrick's every year.
I was wondering.
Yeah.
I was.
It's
I'm glad I didn't say anything.
You and I don't know each other, but
other
other people are like, oh my God, your hair's long. So anyway, I'm cutting it this Saturday. It's shaved off, so
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
You typically do the bald look? Is that what you're saying?
No,
How
but
long is this? That's what I'm
I haven't gotten it cut since November.
November.
Yeah. So
That's-
usually I like it a little short because I exercise, I
Yeah.
swim and run and stuff, and I hate having to mess with messy hair. So
Do you feel like your normal relationships have changed?
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
They're
Now
like-
I'm friends with all these rockers.
Yeah.
So everything's
Right.
It's going
Like,
crazy.
They're like expecting a mullet,
Yeah,
right?
I know, right?
And if you don't have one,
Yeah.
you're probably gonna have to get some new friends now.
I know. So I'm tempted when they shave off my hair to maybe like say, leave some on.
Right.
Leave a tail
You
or
could
something.
do a mohawk.
Kind of fun.
You,
I
do-
could
you really,
mohawk.
I mean, just live it out. Like, you have one head of hair. Think
Yeah.
of all the people who don't have hair, and what would they really do?
What
if
would
they
they
could have
do?
one more week
Yeah.
with hair.
One more week with hair.
Yeah, that's good. You could start a podcast or a radio station just on that.
On hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd be kind of,
What would you do?
it'd be slow.
I can imagine.
So, but anyway, we're still taking contributions. stbaldricks.org, stbaldricks.org, and you can look up Mark Bellows, find my page if you want to contribute to the cause. That'd be wonderful. My goal this year is around, well, it's 10,000. I think as of last night I was at 65, about 6,600. So getting close. Couple more days. So tell us a little bit about Building Savvy magazine.
Sure, yeah. Building Savvy magazine is a publication that it really, the goal of it is to kind of showcase and elevate the local building industry, and then we inspire the builders in the building industry, the people who receive the publication, by kind of giving them good tips and telling them the stories of local builders.
Okay.
And then our goal is to connect our builders with great vendors, service industries, and suppliers that are going to elevate their building or business even more. And so that's been really great. You know, what we've found is in terms of the building industry, there's almost been a lack of community, you know, in terms of especially custom builders.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of different organizations, but a lot of them aren't really a part of it. They might be a one-man show, or they might, you know, just have a couple staff members and they remain on as a superintendent or whatever. And so because of that, they don't have a capacity to be involved in all these different organizations. So we love that our publication connects those people. And you know, what's funny is we have some builders, even in the Granite Bay, Roseville area, that, you know, pull out 8, 9, 10 custom homes a year,
Right.
that no one's ever heard of, just because they kind of operate out of their own sphere.
Sure.
And they're killing it. And so we just want to provide a really great support system, and you know, we feature the builders for free. So for me, it's been fun because I just get to become friends with these guys and listen to their stories, showcase them, and then they love it. I don't have anything to sell them, so they love it even more.
So how long ago did you start the magazine?
So we're running on our 9th issue. So 9 months ago is when it first went to print. So I've been here a year, actually. This past week was my 1 year.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, when I moved here, and so yeah, it's been great though. It really has it's easy to get content. There's so many different levels of content you can get in the building industry, and what builder doesn't want to, you know, just showcase their work and their story.
Yeah.
A lot of them have unique stories of how they started. You know, maybe it was they got into it because their dad was a builder, or you know, they were in the business industry and they loved the design, and so they kind of recognized that they could be a builder but also be a great business mind, and that's not as common in terms of the building industry. So yeah, it's really a neat way.
Do you focus typically just on, I should say solely on home builders?
Yeah.
What about, like, would you go with, like, I know one time on the show we had a guy who designs custom pools, really nice pool and outside things. Do you focus on or look at people like that as well?
So those guys are great sponsors and advertisers. So those are the people that we want to connect with our builders. You know, when we have builders that are building these magnificent houses, we want to connect them with incredible people that can make them better. And so we definitely want to work with them. We're probably not going to, like, give them the front cover and give them 4 to 6 pages in the pub, but you know, they want to sponsor and advertise and connect with builders. That's awesome, and we'll do, you know, a 2-page spread on them throughout our partnership, and just to showcase and tell their story. That's great.
So is this a monthly publication?
Yep, it's a monthly publication. It's mailed out to all the custom and production builders.
So how many issues do you produce so far?
So right now we're about 1,200 issues, and then we kind of have a digital version that we send out to a lot of people who are loosely or non-loosely affiliated with the industry, but not necessarily a builder. So they're valuable. We want them to see the pub, but we don't necessarily. They're not the heart and soul of it.
Sure.
We want the builders to love it and to really create that relationship with it. So.
And I was going to ask you, so you have both the print version and then the online version?
We do. So
did you roll out both at the very beginning?
We didn't. The digital one came about, right? You know, as of now, you know, we do a great email blast each month where we kind of just do newsletter, what's happening in the building industry, and then we attach the publication to that.
Okay.
So that's been really great, and it's funny with the social media world and online world. It's always evolving, right? So you know, Instagram has been big for me in the last month. But it's kind of hard because a lot of builders are middle-aged or more, and so they're not hanging out on Instagram.
Exactly,
right? A lot of times the people that want to reach out to them are, and so you know, part of running a business is just navigating, you know, your demographic, and then what's the best way to connect with them. And so a lot of times that, like I said previously, the building industry has been a little bit of a challenge just because a lot of them aren't connected well because they've been operating in their own sphere for 30 years.
Sure.
So
Yeah, it's very different. So you get a younger generation that's a little bit different, and
Yeah.
they're involved. But yeah, the older ones
right,
are the
right.
same.
So just learning how to operate in that sphere as a young person, right? I'm probably more. It'd be easier for me to jump into the social media world and just kill it at that. But at the end of the day, would that give me the revenue generation that I want? So, yeah, it's been an evolution of just learning, right? Any business goes through that.
Sure, yeah.
Some of that was foreseen, some not.
Well, good. We'll get more into that
Sure.
story when we get back from the break. Where you're listening to Beyond the Numbers of Money 105.5 FM, part of the Wall Street Business Network. Great.
So, do you have to generate the advertising for this?
Well, I could sell time.
Yeah.
And then that would cover help kind of give me the $200 that I pay.
Okay, so you
I
pay the
did-
$200.
I pay the $200 a week, and then I get 80 spots, 30 spots a week or so. So I have just a couple of commercials recorded that they play
Yeah.
throughout the show, and then also play them during the course of the week.
So who are those commercials? I mean,
They're my own.
Oh, okay. So like right now, who are those listening to?
Probably someone who's got a show again.
Got you. Okay.
Usually it's other shows.
Nice. So it's either other shows or advertising that you might sell.
Exactly.
Okay. That's cool.
So ideally, I could sell
Sure.
advertising, but the challenge is
Yeah.
a couple things. One is just time to do that.
Could you just give it away? Like, could you do it in just
I could, but
$200 and because I think
yeah, I could. And the other challenge is that it takes a little bit of time for them to turn around commercials here. I mean,
That's all right.
they record it and they have people who do
Yeah.
voicing, but usually what I found, like all my spots have taken a few weeks at least. So
Yeah.
if I wanted to have you do an ad to
Sure.
run while you're on the show,
Sure.
it almost like you'd have to do it a couple weeks in advance.
That's all right. Yeah. How long are the commercial breaks?
A couple minutes.
Couple minutes. Cool.
And we're back. You listen to Beyond the Numbers on Monday 105 FM, part of the Wall Street 105.5 FM, part of the Wall Street Business Network. Mark Bellows here, your host with my guest today, Danny Jacobson. Danny's a publisher of Building Savvy magazine. So you did mention you're younger. How old are you?
Come on, man.
For our radio listeners.
Okay, I'm 29.
20. So
29.
you moved here a year ago, you said.
Yeah.
So where'd you come from?
Omaha, Nebraska.
Omaha, Nebraska.
Yep. Great little city. If you haven't been, hidden gem.
Hidden
in the
gem.
Midwest.
Oh, all right,
It
that's
is.
good. And so
Warren Buffett.
Did you grow up in that area?
I grew up about an hour away in a
Okay.
small town. Yeah, my wife jokes about it a lot. It's it doesn't have a stoplight. It has one place of business, so it's good.
Yeah. And
Fun life.
Then you went to college.
Yep,
and
went to
then-
college in Omaha.
What was your degree in, or would you study?
Yeah, I studied economics and political science
Okay.
and sleeping in.
Yeah.
And
It's great to go to college.
good life. Eating. Oh yeah.
I remember in graduate school, my last semester I had Tuesdays off.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
Yeah. I remember
The day after in the week, it's always good.
Oh yeah. Tuesday, my classes were Tuesday. I would set it up. So I worked, right? I didn't really need to work because I had a pretty good scholarship, but I worked. But I had my class on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I would make sure they only started past noon.
Sleep
And
in.
so, yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
So what was the scholarship for?
Yeah, my scholarship was the Susan Thompson Buffett scholarship. So Warren Buffett
Oh,
paid
really?
for my schooling.
How great is that?
Yep. So he has amazing partnerships with the universities
Right.
in the area. It's really wonderful, and he's an alumni of where I went. So, yeah. So based on a GPA and I think it actually was even more based on financial need.
Right.
Not that if you didn't meet the financial, you wouldn't receive it, but if you came from a background where you had a financial need, they were much more likely to give you the scholarship, which was wonderful because it fit my world. So definitely blessed.
So what did you do when you graduated college?
Yeah, so I graduated college, and for the next 2 years, actually, was in college ministry. So
Oh, really?
was at a kind of a mega church in Omaha, biggest church in Nebraska. Was really a part of that for quite a few years in college, and then
Is that I was thinking fellowship of Christian athletes, but that's athletics specifically. So
yeah.
So it was a college-based ministry.
Yeah, college-based ministry. So yeah, throughout college I was a part of it,
Right.
and we connected with a lot of people on the campus, and the other college campuses in the city,
Right.
and just help them develop their faith and learn. And then when I graduated college, I was offered an opportunity to go on staff with that church and do college ministry. It was great. Loved it. Did 2 years. After 2 years, I kind of was like, I like it. I love the people, but I was a little bored. And I have ADD, and so I was like tired of going to meetings about meetings.
Yeah.
Let's develop this strategy and let's follow up next week about it. And I'm like, oh man.
Another meeting.
Give me some it's almost like I'd rather go paint walls because at the end of the day, I'm completed.
Yeah, you completed something
Like,
versus
I feel
another
good. This looks
meeting.
good. I'm glad I don't have to live here, so I have to judge the painting skill forever. But
So what'd you do at the end of that 2 years?
yeah, after the end of that 2 years, I was really kind of navigating what am I going to do now, because I knew I loved people, and I knew that I wanted to kind of run a business. Right? I remember I connected with a guy who ran a business they provided printers and scanners for big offices. He was really successful. I met with him actually kind of hoping he would hire me to do sales, because I heard he was hiring salespeople. He probably didn't like me, but he said, you need to do a business. And so I looked at all kinds of opportunities. One day I was meeting with a mentor, having lunch. A guy walked in who was doing some magazines, and my friend Paul said, you got to connect with him. So I went and I connected with the guy. Next week I was interviewing, and then I started selling advertising for him, and I did that probably 6 months, and then I started a magazine.
So what types of magazines did this Paul have?
Yeah, so Paul was my mentor.
Oh, sorry,
so yeah, he connected me with
guy.
a guy named Bob and Jason. They were kind of doing magazines in Omaha. So I worked for Bob and Jason, and sold ads. They were doing niche magazines for high-end neighborhoods. So the magazines that we've done, and what I do now is essentially magazines where you have a high-end clientele. So the recipients are high-end and desirable, highly desirable. Lots of businesses are trying to market to them. And then 2, high readership rate, because the content is provided by them and it's about them.
Right.
And it's a 100% market catch. There's no waste for our advertisers because it's directly going to their demographic. Everyone who perceives it are people that would use your business at a great level. So we did high-end neighborhood magazines for wealthy neighborhoods.
Okay.
So Omaha's an extremely wealthy city, and so essentially, you do a neighborhood magazine, all the content provided by residents, pictures of kids, families, homes, yards, silly stuff that you would look at, your wife would read. It's kind of like the yearbook, right? People in the remember when the yearbook would come out in high school? Teachers couldn't teach all day. Everyone was looking at the yearbook and sign it here, blah blah blah. And we love that our residents in our neighborhoods, they talk about the magazines.
Right.
We get a new resident that moves in, and the neighbor's bringing in the last 12 issues, and it's got a family on the cover, and we do a feature on a pet, and it's really neat. And small businesses love to connect with those people.
Oh, sure.
They'll say, hey, you know what? We identify that our 10 best clients are in that neighborhood, and so we want to brand in front of them so we could get 2 more or 1 more, and so it's been a huge. So then.
So you're selling advertising for them.
Selling advertising for them.
And then you decided to go start your own.
Yeah. So then I started my own magazines in Omaha. I think I bought an existing one. Well, I know I did. I bought an existing one. So I did that. So I ran the magazine. Same, yeah. So I had 2 of them in the Omaha area, and then when we moved out here, I kind of knew that I wanted to do the same niche, but more of kind of a higher ROI and more of a niche market maybe. And so
ROI being return on investment.
Yes.
For our
I'm so sorry.
non-economic major business listeners.
Yeah. So I had a friend doing this magazine, doing a builder magazine in Dallas. There's a really successful one in Boston, and they've been there around for 30 years. Wow. And so one of the great things.
Same title.
Yeah, Boston's builder architect.
Oh, okay.
But Dallas is building savvy. So
okay.
So yeah, it worked out great. It was a platform kind of in creation to sustain more of those magazines, and so yeah, it's kind of the same thing. We found a need because there's a lot of national builder magazines, but nothing really local.
Yeah.
And then also we found that the builders in this area are not really well connected. Even the Building Industry Association is a great organization. They're very focused on production builders, just because land is expensive here. Production builders run the table, But custom builders are still killing
production
it.
builder being
Yeah, a builder who produces probably more than 25 units a year, or 50.
so the ones you think of that you see out there with the signs everywhere.
Right,
Like James C. Homes.
James C. Homes and KB Homes,
Right.
and Meritage Homes. I mean, they're beautiful. They produce a great
Absolutely.
product for that market.
So then those are called production homes.
Those are called production homes.
They're putting out a lot.
Absolutely.
Versus
The custom builder.
Custom.
So you are going to go and have a builder custom build a $2 million or $1 million higher home that a lot of times this is your dream home.
Sure.
And so those builders, it's so fun to connect with them because they get to connect with other people about their dreams, and they get to make their dreams come reality. Like production homes are great, but it's probably not someone's dream home to go live in that starter home. And no offense to that, there are some great production homes. Even New Home Company, they kill it in the higher end production homes around $1 million, and that's a great option. But you get the Hills Group or Landmark guys that they are amazing innovators and amazing designers, and they help you create an amazing dream and they make it a reality. And so that's great. We just featured a home called a builder called Crosby Homes based out of Granite Bay this next month. Creative design and build. They do a lot of stuff in the Midtown Arden Park area, killing it. Beautiful renovations and new home builds. So I kind of fell in love with that. But economically, the return on investment, when you're showcasing these people from an advertiser perspective, you build a relationship with a builder. It's more than just that one-time consumer. You build that relationship, you get multiple homes a year, and a lot of our partners love connecting with that custom home builder, and doing craftsmanship stuff, and really being able to showcase their own work, rather than just saying, hey, what do you do to do these walls or do this shower and install. So yeah, it's been great.
And so the magazine there's no price. It's a free magazine, and then you make your money by selling the
advertising. Yeah.
And so what specifically, what types of advertisers do you typically get?
Yeah. So when you think about a builder, that you got about 28 different businesses that are utilized to create a home.
28.
Yeah, it's average, right?
Okay.
Some lower, some higher.
Right.
But it's dependent on that builder and their own staff. Maybe they're a builder that wants to do their own framing or whatever. So you got concrete companies, roofing companies, solar. Banks are great. Mortgage company. Everybody wants to be the preferred lender.
Sure.
U.S. Bank. They have a great construction finance loan.
Right.
Those are great. Flooring companies, BMC Building Supply. Those companies that are they're utilized in the building of a home, and they want to be utilized. And so one of the cool things about the builders and the businesses that advertise is they're all busy. Like it's not like I'm meeting with people that are hungry for work. All these people are swamped, and so for me, it's helping kind of create the need to just brand in front of your current clients, and then also branding in front of your potential clients. And the other part of that is you might have a flooring company that works with this certain builder or multiple builders, but they might only be doing 50% of their projects. And so even connect with some businesses that don't even realize, like, oh yeah, I already work with that builder. And you're like, oh, how many homes did you build with them? Oh, I think we did like 7. Oh, really? Well, they built 15. And so just allowing people to understand. Even though you're killing it and you're happy, there's huge, you could totally grow this and just pick up a little bit more, and it would really change your business in some ways. So it's been cool. I really have enjoyed, connecting with the builders and their suppliers and service industries.
And are you focusing specifically on like Sacramento and Placer County?
Yeah, so we're Northern California.
Okay.
So everything but the Bay Area. So we go into Napa, all the way to Truckee. And cool thing about builders is a lot of it's the same builders already. So you're a production builder in the Bay Area, in the Sacramento area. You're probably in Yuba City or Napa or Stockton, and so yeah, it's cool. And custom builders, same. A lot of the people that are doing great in Truckee, Tahoe, are here.
Absolutely,
based here or so.
Yeah, I've got clients who built a couple properties up at the Martis Camp area.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But they're based here. So
yeah. So beautiful.
Yeah.
No, that stuff's awesome. My wife and I live in her house right now. My father-in-law sent me a $4.5 million home via email yesterday.
Nice.
Hey, you should check this out. And my response was, really, you're buying this for us? Thank you. Wow.
What area was that in?
I don't remember. I think it was Truckee.
Okay.
It was Truckee. It was right on the lake, I believe.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Truckee's that's a beautiful area.
I tried to word it like, hey, thank you. Like, and
yeah.
I don't think he got it. I don't think he heard it.
That's great. If we, when we're in that price range, we'll be sure to look at that one.
Yeah.
It's still available.
Right on.
All right, we're going to go to commercial. When we get back, we'll continue our conversation with Danny Jacobson.
Sorry for answering your questions and then rambling. Is it better if I
No,
answer?
you
Okay,
did
great. Okay.
You did great.
I don't want to.
I'd much rather have you rambled than.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought, but I don't want to ramble and then be like, oh wow, the question was.
I like it because I
4 minutes ago.
guests before who asked when they responded to 1 and 2 words. And they're like,
Yeah, you have to keep going.
okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely
I only got so many questions up here.
Yeah.
We gotta.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get.
Is it okay if I name drop?
Your call.
Okay. I'm cool with that.
No, totally fine.
I
Your
don't
call.
want to. Yeah. Good.
Yeah. This breaks a little bit. Wanted to have a little longer, a couple more minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think you're doing great.
Yeah. So one of the things I would love to talk about is just like creation of a business, maybe, and then challenges. That would be a good thing.
No, that'd be
what are
good.
the challenges?
That's right. Yeah.
Maybe you already had that one, but what are the challenges that you've seen?
No, that's
in just being a business owner as a younger person, or personally.
As long as you mention, of course, you've got to have a good accountant in there.
Yeah. Here's the
Good
truth.
attorney, good
you don't
friend.
need an accountant at all. CPAs, they're not worth the money. TurboTax, baby.
Sorry. No.
TurboTax. What's really helped me is TurboTax.
Yeah.
And doing it myself.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I know. Actually met an awesome CPA recently, Neil Beeman.
Okay.
I can't remember where he's at, but he's from Kansas. So connect with him really well.
Oh, nice.
Is
Is
he
he in
Midwest.
Roseville area? Or?
He is in Granite Bay. Yeah.
Okay.
Right, Roseville. He offices in Roseville, in Granite Bay. I like meeting people that are from the Midwest.
Yeah.
That moved out here because I ask them the same question. What do you think? What do you like it? Do you like that you chose to raise your family here? Every one of them has said they loved it. Yeah. Except for that one, because he grew up on a farm and then he wants to go back and live that farm life.
You can farm in Wheatland.
Yeah, maybe
Right
not.
up the
Maybe
road.
not corn. And, it's a little bit.
You can do row crops.
Cheaper to live.
Woodland's got row crops.
I know. I know.
Corn, safflower.
Seriously, you spend a few days just driving around the countryside of California, you'd be surprised what you find.
Oh,
Even within 20 minutes away, there's large cattle farms.
oh yeah.
And new cattle, and it's neat. I love it. I drive by and I'm like, I'm home. I'm just gonna sit here, park my car, and
So just do like
Feel
go
the
to Harris
presence.
Ranch then on Highway 5 and hang out there.
yeah, I just hang out in the. I'm just gonna sit. I'm just gonna smell the air.
Smell the air.
It reminds me of home. It's sad, but
Did you come from a farming family at all?
my grandfather, he was a farmer. He's a cattle farmer.
Cattle,
My
okay.
mom's side wasn't. My mom's side's from Omaha, and so yeah. But my grandpa sold the farm 30 years ago,
Okay.
right before in like early 80s there was a huge drop in cattle prices. So he dropped, and it was actually the following year, 2 years later, that they rose. And so he'd always regretted not staying in it because he would have, But my grandpa was like that, though, a little fear-based, anxious, very careful. And then, there's a lot of great things about that. I'm sure Warren Buffett's been careful in some ways that he's regretted.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Maybe not so many, but
Maybe not.
yeah. But no, that's a good question. What are some challenges that you face?
Yeah, no, I
And then either
would
that.
always like to ask that question.
Okay. And then more on the thought side of it, I guess.
Yeah. So did you eat a lot of? And we're back. You listen to Beyond the Numbers on Money 105.5 FM, part of the Wall Street Business Network. Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday to you. It is Beyond the Numbers. My name is Mark Bellows. I'm a tax principal with Clifton Larson Allen. You can get a hold of me at my office, 916-784-7800, or mark.bellows@claconnect.com. If you have any tax questions or concerns or issues or whatnot, feel free to get a hold of me. It's that time of year. That's what I'm doing. My guest today, Danny Jacobson.
Yeah.
Yes. Publisher of Building Savvy magazine, also Los Lagos Living.
Sure. Yeah.
How long have you been doing that magazine?
That magazine purchased this past year, so September.
Okay.
September, I think, when I purchased it. Kind of a plan. I knew that once Building Savvy went to print, I was going to jump into another magazine. But yeah, that one's awesome. That was Granite Bay, and so it's awesome being able to build a relationship with those residents of that neighborhood, but also all the businesses in Granite Bay that partner with the magazine.
So, and cool. You use N2 Publishing to do your publishing?
Yeah, so we partner with a company called N2 Publishing,
okay.
And it's great. They do all of our billing and printing and some of our design, which is great because who wants to do that? Like, it's not even. I mean, that's the more complicated part. At least the more time consuming, right? And so for me, I'm definitely more of a personality in sales.
Right.
Love like connecting, developing business, managing clients. You know, not that I couldn't do all that other stuff.
Sure,
it's just I wouldn't give much energy for it.
Well, that's part of what we learn to do in business and life. Is, I mean, well, she should say we learn to do that, but
hopefully we
successfully. If you, I mean, I think a lot of times successfully we'll learn to focus on what you enjoy and can do, and try to have others do the stuff you don't, because other people may enjoy that.
Yeah, it's amazing how many people have run a business and they're just so stressed out, and they don't necessarily recognize that. Like, they're so close to not being stressed out, but they're just control freaks, and they don't want to even not necessarily give it up, but not necessarily explore what they should be giving up.
Yeah.
You know, and they don't want to explore that. Hey, you know what? This part of my business I spend 20 hours a month on. I hate it, and if I just didn't do it, I would probably love my life.
Well, you know where I see that a lot is with the people at the county.
Yeah,
I mean, I've had clients where they're like, you know, I've been spending my weeknights trying to learn QuickBooks. I'm like, why?
Wow. Yeah.
So that I can make sure it's done right.
Right. So you could save $200 a year.
Spend time on your business. Hire someone that's going to do the QuickBooks for you. Because you could spend time on your business and make a lot more money than you're spending for this QuickBooks person.
For real. I don't know why. I really don't understand why. I think it's control. Maybe it's invasive. It's a little embarrassing. They would rather do that than really have to be accountable to someone else about their numbers. Yeah. And so they avoid it. I think maybe especially if they don't have an account they have a relationship with, they fear that. They're like, oh wow, I'm gonna feel judged or whatever.
Yeah.
So one thing about being accountable to yourself, because you can kind of out of sight, out of mind it, and forget about it, and distract yourself. But when someone else is there reminding you your numbers, I get it.
Yeah, a little different.
I get it.
Well, let's talk a little bit about you some of the challenges you faced. We talked about this off air. That'd be a good topic.
Sure.
And I always like asking this of my guests.
Sure.
Maybe things you've learned from, if there's something that didn't work, what you learned from doing that, what you learned from something that does work.
Yeah. Well, I think for me, it's jumping into the builder industry where people who are builders have been builders for years, right? Like we said before, and off air maybe, they're not really into the social media world. A lot of the builders, if they're 55 and older, you're probably not on Instagram if you already have a successful business. A lot of their business comes from word of mouth relationships. You walk into a custom home, oh my gosh, it's beautiful. Who's your guy? And then that's who they're using.
Right.
So for them, marketing themselves isn't necessarily what we're kind of going after, but it's allowing them and creating a support system for them to connect with other people that are going to maybe take their business to the next level, support their current business. And so for me, it's like being a younger guy and a new guy jumping in and developing those relationships.
Right.
It's been a little bit of a challenge because they've already had these incredible relationships. And I come in and I say, hey, you know what? Let me create a way for you to brand in front of them so you could build some more. And a lot of them are like, well, necessarily not sometimes a need because we already have these relationships. The way we look at it is, one of the things I always think about is the nail gun, right? Like before there was a nail gun, no one used the nail gun. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And now there's a nail gun.
What do we need that thing for?
Yeah.
It's like a good hammer right here.
Yeah, absolutely. So Now, so yeah, but for me, the businesses that have a marketing budget and they recognize that 80% or more of their business comes from builders, it's great.
Yeah.
Because we have a publication that directly hits all of them. And it's not only that, but we do events and stuff where we really connect and build relationships with them. So I would say that's been a challenge, is just navigating that. But also just learning how to talk to yourself, how to create the correct amount of headspace. When you're creating a business in a new area, when you don't know people, it's really easy to get anxiety and, to not be plugging into the right atmospheres. And so, I don't know, just having the right perspective has been sometimes a challenge for me, but it's been a really cool growing opportunity. And, when I started my first magazine 5 years ago, I sometimes I think about my mindset now starting a magazine and 5 years ago, and totally different. I just didn't even, things I worried about then weren't even on my radar now. So
that's good. That's interesting. Sacramento is small town. I mean, a lot of people have known, they've grown up together and they've kind of known each other. And so you coming in as an outsider in this market, there's definitely had to be the challenge there.
Well, not only that, but jumping into an industry that's very, very close knit.
Yes.
And some of those relationships have been fostered for years.
Yeah.
They 30 years ago started that relationship, and they probably didn't even get the relationship business-wise until 10 years after that.
Right.
And so they put a lot of equity, relational equity into it, and then you get somebody like me coming in and saying, "Hey,
you ought to consider this
here I
floor
am.
guy.
It's a great opportunity, and so, it's definitely not, my business is not a necessity for people to grow, and it's not a necessity for people to be successful. Definitely, I would say to grow, but not to be successful. And so it's just more of a compliment to their business, staying in front of them consistently. And, I've got a great real estate agent that advertises in Los Lagos, Nick Suddick, kills it. 15 homes a year in the neighborhood.
Wow, that's great.
Does he need to advertise to them? Probably not, but he does because they're his best clients.
Yeah.
He wants to be in front of them.
Right.
He wants to continue and foster that relationship every way that he can.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when you're starting a business, it's just creating, creating a great, situation where people look at you and they say, yeah, he's got a good reputation. It's really working that so that people recognize you as valuable, And so a lot of it is just selling that relationship. And for me, it's been great to be able to have a relationship with builders because that's probably the most valuable thing that I have. Is hey, you have something to sell these builders. I don't have anything to sell. I just kind of become their friend. So yeah.
So did you find anything that you've tried that didn't work, and what it kind of, if there's examples of that?
Sure.
What that would be.
Yeah, what I found is that when you approach it in a level of how can I help you?
Mm-hmm.
It is amazing the response. And so I think right when I came out here, I'm like, oh my gosh, I got this great idea. Everyone's gonna love it. And I'd call builders. Hey, my name's Danny. I'm doing this magazine. Really want to showcase your business and just do it. And reality is they've been burned by other businesses like that in the past. Magazines will show up and say, hey, we want to showcase you, but we also want you to tell all of your contractors that they need to pay for an ad. Or there's some type of strings attached. And so I found out that there wasn't enough value in what I was telling them to carry over that anxiety that they might have. And so.
And how did you find that out? Did you have conversations with
them?
I
would have conversations. So yeah, if I called 10 builders, 7 of them might be like, nah, and then not tell me anything. Just get off the phone because they are busy.
Yeah.
And then 3 of them might have a conversation and be like, honestly, this is why. And that's one of the things that is great about the building industry is they're very direct, they're very real, down to earth, and I like that. But so yeah, just navigating that, and now connecting with them, just saying, hey, you know what? I'm not here to build relationships with any of your contractors or suppliers. I just want to showcase you and showcase what you've done. You have a great story, and then really asking them to come on board in your life as a friend and an expert has been great for me. And just saying, hey, you know what? I got this publication. It's for the building industry. Would love to connect with you and just get your tips and ideas on what would make it awesome. I view you as a valuable asset to the building industry in the area. That would be great. And then also, the value of a referral is so big. When I first got out here, I would call the big building suppliers and I just say, hey, this is my name's Danny, so I'm doing. Who are the best builders in the area? Like, who would you say like, these are the top 10 that you think I should connect with? And I'd call them up and I'd say, hey, Craig Wickert from Wickert Homes in El Dorado Hills. This is Danny Jacobson. You know, Jody from Silverado Building Products said you were fantastic, and then I should connect with you. And so instantly, you know, if they have someone that they trust and value recommending them, it gets me in. And that was the first builder I ever met with. Featured him in the November issue.
Oh, cool.
Beautiful homes.
Right.
Yeah. So just navigating the referral and the relationship I found is hard. And you know, to have that, you got to be authentic, and you can't walk in there and think you have the answers. You just got to be humble and say, can you help me? You know, and ask for their advice. So.
Well, great. All right, we're talking with Danny Jacobson of Building Savvy Magazine. We'll be right back. Listen to Beyond the Numbers.
So, do you typically have it all scheduled out for a month in advance, or what's your?
It varies.
Yeah. I
mean, right now I have 2 for March. So I got 3 more March slots I got to fill.
You know, it would be a good. I seriously have so many. Folsom, Granite Bay. Yeah. There's a cool business called Shape Masters, and they're doing a really cool thing about weight loss.
Okay.
I based out of Folsom. They're great. They advertise with us.
Yeah.
You know, even connecting with a realtor like Nick Suddick, the guy who has definitely recognized his niche of, you know, high-end luxury homes. Yeah. Created a really great team, and he would be a great guy to come on and talk to about like creating a niche for yourself and running at it.
Yep.
Builders, the Hills Group, they do a great job. They design and build. So that's a unique sphere for a builder, is that they don't hire an architect. They do it all themselves. Yeah. And they're, you know, to be able to jump in and kill it in the already existing market of Granite Bay in the last 20 years, like they've done well. George Henley, builder, been there for 30 years, super connected. Guys like that'll connect you with a lot of people. Cool.
Yeah.
Anyways.
All right, we're back. You're listening to Beyond the Numbers on my 105.5 FM, part of the Wall Street Business Network. Mark Bellows here with my guest today, Danny Jacobson. We've been talking about Danny's publication, Building Savvy Magazine. Started about a year ago. You've had 9 issues so far?
Yeah, just did our 9th issue.
Nice. Nice. And so, how many pages?
You know, it's grown every month. So right now I think we're about 30 pages. Right. You know, with the advertisers, there's always content. We have tons of people that are like, hey, I would love to write for this. And, you know, people sometimes overvalue their knowledge and influence.
And the interest of the general public.
Yeah, right. Now, anyone listening is going to say, I'm not calling him. But, you know, we've got a really great lady who's been in the mortgage industry for years, and she loves leadership and coaching, and she's been a killer coach in her builder in the Paramount Equity. And she writes an article each month on leadership,
right,
management. Super cool. We've got Brown & Brown, Ryan Kagarakis is a great commercial insurance agent, and he writes an article on tips on protecting your commercial investments. And you know, that's really cool. You know, we've got a designer who writes an article on new products, what she's seeing in the market. You know, she just did a great article on reformable or reused wood. Right, everybody knows that market's growing.
Right.
And so, yeah, it's been pretty cool. And what I love about it's local. You know, the building industry is different from market to market.
Absolutely.
You know, from here to Dallas, totally different. You can watch, Joanna and Chip Gaines. Love that show. Yeah. Best compliment I ever received. Someone said, "You remind me of Chip Gaines." I was like,
"Hey, that's cool.
I'll take it."
Yeah.
I did watch a show where he was in his underwear the other day, but hopefully they didn't see that.
Yeah.
But anyways, the building industry is different from market to market, even from here to the Bay.
Oh, yeah.
So if you did a California builder magazine, it would just be all over the place.
Yeah,
and
California's too big.
It is, and Sacramento's just very Midwestern feel, and it's and so yeah, it's different. And we have a lawyer who writes an article just on law, codes. We showcase events.
Right.
It's pretty cool. I really enjoyed.
That's good. And so, So does N2 Publishing, as we mentioned, does the publishing for you? So do they send you like I forget what the terminology is in the business.
An invoice?
A bill, no. Well, like the publication for it goes out and you read it.
Yeah. So I connect with them with designers, and essentially we put all the content in the database, and then they create the publication, and then we proof it. I have an editor that looks it over and makes sure all the ads are correct in the right places, because businesses pay for certain placements.
Sure.
And, all the articles are great, no typos, and so it's pretty simple. I try to not be involved in that. It's just because
it's not your expertise.
I don't like
your
it.
area that you
don't
want to
like
spend
it.
time in.
Yeah, I could do it, but
you don't want to.
I'm a perfectionist, so it'd probably take me too long. I do like writing though. In high school, college, I did enjoy writing, and so but don't enjoy writing for the magazine because I'm a perfectionist. But the few articles that I've done, I've enjoyed, and I'm like surprised myself. I'm like, oh, I'm okay. Like
I like this.
It sounds like I'm a socially normal human being. Like I can spell.
You got them all full.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
So,
I enjoy doing some writing as well. I just I'm like you, I'm a bit of a perfectionist.
Right.
So
yeah, what do you like to write?
Hinders the writing. Well, I've written blogs on tax stuff before, and I've written some articles and that kind of stuff. So
People love reading that.
Oh, very exciting. Very exciting. You probably need like a 10-page article every issue.
Yeah, I actually want you to
Tax
just.
law.
Could you mass text me tax articles every day?
Absolutely.
Please.
Yeah, about 9:30 at night. So when your wife is trying to go to sleep,
Yeah.
you can listen, read.
I'll just read it to her.
There you go.
Hey, babe.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's some good nighttime reading.
Yeah. What's it like being in the industry that most people would say is boring? Like when you're saying like when I meet a CPA and he says he's a CPA, I instantly am like, okay, you either seem like a CPA or you don't.
Yeah.
Most of the time you do. You're obviously unique because you have a personality and you're a great communicator, and not only that, but you want to connect with people and bring them out, which is a unique trait for a CPA. Why? What's up with that?
I don't know. I must have fallen into this.
Yeah. When you were growing up,
I like being, as we mentioned, as I was mentioning earlier. I mean, I enjoy helping people. I like working with people. I like people actually. So I don't want to sit in my office all day and not be bugged. I want to be out and about, talking to people, getting to know people like you.
Sure.
So I enjoy that aspect of it, and then also I've got some tax knowledge and some skills in that area that I can bring to the table that I can help people out, and I like doing that. People always generally most everyone I've ever met enjoys paying less tax, and so
really weird.
I know, right? And so I enjoy doing as much as I can to help them pay less tax.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, there might be a certain sphere of the United States that wants to pay more taxes, or maybe they want the benefits of paying more taxes, but once that actually they get that tax bill,
once
they might change their mind.
Cut the check, it feels a little different.
Yeah.
I'm all in favor of that. I'm like, wait, how much?
Yeah, I don't want to alienate anyone, but I always say people are liberal, and college students are, until they get a job and they're like, okay, wait a minute, I have to pay taxes. So not anyways, that's very general.
That's very general.
And now everyone's like, yeah, we know where he is, but I'm definitely probably not what you'd expect.
So you grew up in Nebraska. You said some farming.
Some farming, yeah. My grandfather was a farmer, cattle farmer. I sold his farm in the early '80s before I was born, which is disappointing. Yeah. But yeah, and the cattle market was turning downward, and so he got out of it. His whole life, he died a couple years ago, but he'd always say he regretted selling because 2 years later, it improved, and I said this to you. Everyone has a story probably where they shoulda, coulda, including Warren Buffett, right?
Of course, yeah.
I would love to what are the ones you regret? Like how much money should you?
Well, I think you can get lunch with Warren, right? It's only how much is that now?
I don't know.
A couple mil or
something.
Yeah.
He lived 2 blocks from me.
Yeah.
His house was 2 blocks from me. Not
Did
saying
you do
I
anything
was,
as a kid, like a paper route or go around trying to sell magazine subscriptions or something? Did you ever knock on Warren's door?
I didn't. Well, I didn't grow up in Omaha, right?
Okay.
City of Omaha. But I when I was little, I was that kid that when it would snow, I would walk around and knock on people's doors and ask them, to shovel their sidewalk. And if they said they wanted to do it themselves, I would do it for free and hope they would pay me.
Really?
And they typically did. And so in mowing lawns, I used to walk around and ask people, hey, anything I can do, pull weeds, fold your lawn. I didn't do that, but anything I can do. And now I look back and I think that was definitely entrepreneur.
Oh, absolutely.
My brothers weren't like that. And I remember growing up, I'm like, why don't you want to go work? Like, making money is great, it's fun. And my brother Matt once told me, he's like, yeah, I'll work when I don't have any money. So
that is one approach,
right?
So
right.
Well, that's great. So you've been an entrepreneur since a young man.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, yeah. It's interesting as you grow older. It's funny saying that because I don't say older person, but
Yeah.
as you get older, but as you grow older, you look at those things that had a little bit more of an impact. Yeah, and I've always liked helping people. I remember growing up, there was an older man that lived near us. He needed a lung transplant, and he had oxygen. And his grandkids, we were friends with them, and the wife passed away, and then his grandkids didn't come around as much. But he lived a couple houses away from me, and I was bored living in a small town, and I would just go over there and hang out with him. What do you need? Like, I'll mow your lawn. I used to go to the grocery store with him and help him get his groceries. And I would just spend all the time. I would spend tons of time with him, just hanging out, and he became a really important part of my life. And I think at that time I realized the joy of just like loving somebody.
Yeah.
And providing a great value to them without asking for anything in return. So I think for me, that like connection that I've had with people has helped me in business. And so I think a lot of people in entrepreneurial world, they might say, hey, I want to help people, blah, blah. But I don't know if they really do. I think there's always a string attached in there. There's always a means to an end in it. But if you would just approach it and say, hey, I just want to be your friend, I want to be here for you, I think that it's pretty valuable in the long run.
I just think of the concept of servant leadership,
Sure.
which I ascribe to. I believe in.
Right.
So I try to do that as well in my own business and professional career.
Yeah.
And in life in general. But
Absolutely, yeah.
I believe in that.
No, yeah, I believe in it in a lot of ways, even more now that I'm married.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, what do you want me to do for you? I've been meeting with a business coach.
Really?
Yeah.
How long?
Meet with a business coach. Going on week 3.
Nice. I had one for years. I found it very valuable.
Yeah.
She really could steer me in directions that I wasn't really good at.
Yeah.
Hadn't really focused on.
Mhm.
So I had a lot of value.
Right. I remember playing football and sports, but I just remember doing things that were so uncomfortable. But your coach would be like, no, you have to do it. You have to do it. And it was amazing. All of a sudden, you're now you're more talented.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I had a meeting with her yesterday, and I remember getting in my truck and driving away, thinking, man, I suck. I suck. Like, does she like me? Like, I don't know if she likes me, because that is painful. But
a good coach is going to
really
not only
stuff.
I don't want to say tear you down, but it's going to help you see where areas need to work in, but also
Absolutely.
help you figure out how to improve in those areas.
Yes.
As well.
Yeah, and I have a strong personality, and so I think I think she's doing a fantastic job of saying it in a tactful way.
Right.
That makes me want to produce action.
Yeah.
So
Good. Well, thank you for being on the show today, Danny. We've been talking to Danny Jacobson. He's the publisher of Building Savvy Magazine and also Los Lagos Living. If you want to get a hold of Danny, his number is 916-870-9712. Again, 870-9712. So, Danny, thanks for being on the show.
Hey, my
Appreciate it.
pleasure. It's a
Good
blast.
seeing you. Good meeting
You
you
too.
today. And everyone, hope you have a great Wednesday. Take care.
Fast.
Doesn't it go by fast?
Yeah, I was ready to